All right. Welcome to the 11th episode
Jesus Christ.
of the KillCam Podcast, boys.
Actually, almost want to stop.
It's been a little bit since we've been back. Both been busy. Yeah. All right. Well, Kevin's not going to say anything, so I'm just going to talk.
No, yeah, it's just, like I said, been busy, work, and other shit have came up, so.
Yeah, other stuff's come up, but we got a bunch of good stuff to talk about today.
It's been less than a week, right?
It's been more than a week.
Oh, fuck. Oh, yeah, that's right, because I waited longer to edit it. Nice.
So we've got a bunch of stuff to talk about today. There's a Star
many
Wars.
articles?
There's lots of articles. We have a Vader Immortal Star Wars VR game coming to PSVR. Got a PSVR release schedule. We're going to talk about some interesting kind of, I guess, politically relevant stuff for Cyberpunk coming out.
By that, you know what that means.
Yeah, if you know anything about it. Just some other stuff here, and then EA Games, Activision Blizzard, and Nintendo all had their earnings reports.
What about Sony and Take-Two?
I didn't look at Sony yet, and Take-Two has theirs next week.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember you said Take-Two.
So I'll probably combine those two next time.
Okay. Yeah, and then I just wanted to talk about, like, kind of piggybacking off Spencer, how he said he's been playing, like, a bunch of new games. Like, I've also been tapping into, like, a handful of new games, like, while I'm working from home. I wanted to talk about the Predator dev team, Ilphonic, and how well they've been approaching and handling that game. I think that's a good sign for that game's future. A little bit more on the Mick Gordon and what's the game, Doom controversy kind of thing with the DLC releasing. Kind of shitty, but it is what it is. Then talk about the Inside Xbox premiere, the third party, not the first party one, that's in July, but the third party Xbox Inside.
Yeah, I've heard some negative feedback about that, so we'll talk about it.
I saw a lot of negative feedback too, but I mean, it was literally what they said it was going to be.
Yeah.
And then just like a couple stuff. I know one of our listeners, my cousin Scott, he had a little game for us that not game, kind of just like a fun little question for us. So we'll tackle that towards the end. Good deal.
Why don't we start with just some new stuff we've been playing?
All right. What do you want to
start?
It's
a good intro topic. Anything new for you? Because I went a little crazy.
Yeah. So games that like I've gotten on my own, not that we've gotten. So like I'm ruling out like Earth Defense Force, Predator. Earth Defense Force is fucking awesome. We'll touch on that in a little bit.
Don't let us forget.
But I've been taking advantage of the Xbox Game Pass. So I downloaded this like indie game called My Friend Pedro. I started playing Plague Tale Innocence and Crackdown 3. And then I got back into Overwatch. I think I mentioned that last cast, but I've played a little bit more, even solo queued a game today. So I'll probably play that game more and more often.
So of those games, which one are you enjoying the most and why?
It's probably a tie. Okay. Earth Defense Force, obviously, is probably the best new game I've been playing. It's amazing.
For listeners' reference, Kevin and I both did get Earth Defense Force 5 on the PS4, and we have started playing it. So let's talk about it right now. We're already on it.
Game is such a fucking shithole.
It's ridiculous.
It is the greatest shithole you'll ever see.
Like, the graphics are... So originally, just to give you some context, so we were going to buy the game on Steam, and like my laptop is pretty good. Like, it's not bad.
Yeah, it's
like a gaming laptop. It's pretty solid.
Yeah, it holds its own. Like on any game you've thrown at it.
And so Earth Defense Force visually,
even looks, Hunt Showdown's not fun. Really it's
Crytek also too, I think.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily the most optimized. You could play that.
Yeah, I ran it fine on pretty high graphics. And so Earth Defense Force 5, when you look at it visually, it doesn't look very good. So I was like, oh man, no problem. So I bought it off Steam, loaded it up, and like it was just lagging out my laptop, and I had to change the resolution to like way below 1080p.
Jesus.
And it was still lagging my laptop a little bit, so I messaged Kevin, and we both ended up getting it on the PS4 because it was just so shittily optimized.
Yeah.
And the game, even on the PS4, it doesn't even look that good.
It's smooth though.
It is smooth.
We haven't had any frame drops, so that's pretty good. And like that's the thing. So like,
I think it's just the quantity of stuff.
So it's like to counter what you said. It's like the game visually it looks like ass, but the amount of shit being thrown at you on screen is argument. Like I don't know what game is like hey, this game throws more at you at once. Like there is so much shit happening at one given moment on screen. And it's running fine. Like I said, I think they were like, hey, this game's going to look like shit, but here's like 500 fucking bugs and a shitload of tanks and mechs and guns and
everything's exploding.
Yeah.
Buildings are falling down around you. Horrible AI audio around you.
Yeah.
Oh man, we gotta get them.
It's like, it sounds like we're shitting on this game, but it's like, I promise it's fun.
It tries to do one thing, which is be goofy and have a bunch of stuff happening at once, and it does that very well. It's very arcadey.
It's exactly. It feels like something that you'd run into like an old arcade and just like pop in a couple coins and play.
I would say, if anybody's interested in getting it, we're happy to play with you. But I would not get it at full price. I don't think it's worth $60.
Yeah, that's the thing.
We got it on sale
for $30, which I think is 100% justified.
It's absolutely worth it. And again, and if you have people to play with, it's even better.
Exactly.
Don't get it for yourself. That's not fun.
Yeah, if you're gonna get the game for like, oh man, I want a good single player game.
No.
You're gonna be in for a rough time.
You're gonna have a bad time.
But if you have like a couple friends and you're like, y'all want a mindless game to play like on weekends, I mean, you can't really get any better than that. It's like, it's kind of like party level of like Mario Party or Smash in the sense that it's just like you kind of don't have to know what you're doing to just have a good time.
It's pretty obvious that you're supposed to shoot the bugs or the aliens or the UFOs.
Yeah, and they make it obvious in the sense that they throw like 1,000 at you at once. And it's just like, hey, kill these things. It's pretty, but like apparently you can get super in depth in that game because there's like a shitload of weapons.
It's like 100 levels. Kevin and I got through 1 through 5 last night.
Yeah. It's fun. So
overall, it's a positive review. Definitely a positive review.
We will be playing it more for sure. That game is not going to be like we played it once and we're done. Like that's going to be a pretty heavily played game.
And then like even like the menu when you're trying to do stuff just has so much data and information on it that it's like overwhelming.
Text and menus and background like graphics that it's like
what the hell is going on?
That game is just a visual overload.
It is.
Like that game probably is meant to be played when you're like drunk or on some sort of.
I had some beverages when we played.
Yeah. Fuck. But so taking Earth Defense Force out of the way, like games I've been playing like myself that I've liked. My friend Pedro is a really fun like arcade game and it's goofy and funny, but like I've kind of been enjoying Plague Tale. That game's fucking weird, but like it's definitely like I played it, watching reviews. I'm like, I'll just passively play this, and like I loaded it up and played for like a handful of hours straight, and I was like, damn, I really don't want to stop playing this. It's fun. It's very unique. It's like a stealth, like not puzzle, like stealth puzzly kind of game. You have to like think shit out, and it's a little hyperbolic. Like, I mean, there's shitloads of rats and they're like a hive mind kind of thing. It's a little over the top, but it's fun. Pretty brutal. Voice acting's a little meh because they're all supposed to be like French, but yeah, you get a bunch of like people doing French accents. After a while, you're like, can you guys stop fucking talking?
Yeah.
Nice. You should get it. Oh, fuck, you don't have Game Pass, do you?
No, I don't have Game Pass.
Damn. If you get it, I'd recommend it. It's just a decent little single player. And then Crackdown 3. If you've played Crackdown 1 and 2,
yeah, you I kind of know what I'm going to get.
You know exactly what you're fucking getting.
Jumping off buildings.
The sounds are the same. There's Terry Crews. That's probably the only difference is Terry Crews is in it. Other than that, literally the exact same game, which for free with Game Pass, I mean, I'll play it. I don't give a fuck.
Good deal, man.
What about you? So I know you've been going a little crazy with the games.
So I have, since we last talked, I have purchased Injustice 2.
That's such a weird purchase still.
It is. It was only like $5. It was on sale. I purchased Gothic Armada 2 for PC.
You're gonna have to explain that one.
I will. Obviously, Earth Defense Force, and then also on PSVR, Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners came out, which is awesome.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of good things about it. So, like, what is the premise of that game?
Which one?
Saints and Sinners.
So far, I'm only a few hours in, and it's made to be kind of the same graphic style as like the Telltale games, you know, where it's not meant to be super realistic.
Yeah, it's kind of like
a little more animated looking. The story's still very serious though, and so I think the claim to fame of it is that it's free motion. It's like an open world single player game in VR.
Oh shit, I didn't know it's open world.
Yeah, it's like pretty open world, and like the combat so far is very intense, to where like you have to play it with the move controllers. Like you can't. It does not let you use a DualShock.
Oh shit! Because some games allow that.
Yeah, you have to have both hands, and you know it's because they do so much in the game, whether it's grabbing your backpack over your back,
Jesus.
2 weapons at your side, your light off your chest, or like if you get injured, you have to grab your bandages like out of your bag and like actually wrap it around your arm.
God damn.
And stuff. And like the kills are really intense because you have to like, it's not just to walk up and like stab a zombie in the face. You have to like use one of your hands to like kind of quickly grab it by the head like they do in the show.
So it can't like bite you. Like you
quickly,
keep it.
Yeah. You have to quickly just grab it, and then you have to do like a large enough range of motion to get like through its skull with your weapon.
God damn.
And then you can kind of like throw them down when you're done. Yeah. Or if you don't like have a weapon, you do have the ability to kind of like grab one and like shove him off
That's kind of sick.
and kind of keep moving.
That's kind of badass.
Gunplay feels pretty good so far, but of course, you know, I'm all about give me the melee.
Is it like is it like a standalone story, or does it follow like the show or certain characters, or
I
is
think
it
it's
like
standalone. It's set in New Orleans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, I didn't know if it like followed like a character from the show. Like,
I'm not sure, and maybe I'm not far enough in.
Maybe. But
So far, people are on the PSVR community. Everybody's already saying this is a top 3 must-have PSVR game.
that's
Like
a
must-have.
That's quite a thing to say.
Up
'cause
there with like Farpoint and all that.
Farpoint and Astrobot. I know-
Astrobot is those are probably the top 3.
What about what's that other game? The one that you liked where
Resident
you flip
Evil?
people off. I remember you told me.
Drunken Bar Fight?
No.
Oh, Blood and Truth. You're
Yeah,
right,
what
you're
about
right.
that one?
That's up there.
Okay.
That's competitive, yeah.
I remember you told me you're like, you just flip people off. There's a button to do it. I'm like, that's kind of badass.
So
Okay,
very positive review of Saints and Sinners so far.
What about that Gothic game? Because I've never even heard of that.
So the way I noticed it is, first off, if anybody's ever played it, it's kind of like Sins of the Solar Empire. Remember that PC game that came out a
Okay.
while ago where it's like in space? But so the reason that I stumbled upon it,
I remember you used to play that game a lot.
yeah, is that it's that, but it's actually Warhammer.
Oh,
So
it's a Warhammer
full
game.
Warhammer. And so that's one underrated piece of Warhammer.
So the name Gothic, that makes me
It
think
referencing-
it makes me think old Warhammer, not 40K Warhammer.
It is 40K.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so it's a primarily single player game from what I can tell. Campaigns. There's 4 different campaigns. You've got the Imperium, which of course is Space Marines. Blah blah blah.
Astartes.
Yeah, and then there's the Necrons and a couple other races, and it's really good. Like it's really well done. The reviews were excellent. So I went ahead and I was like, you know what? I like these kind of games. It's Warhammer. I'm gonna like it. So I got it. Very happy with it so far. It looks like there's a decent learning curve. It looks gorgeous. Really happy with it so far. And I think that's an underrated piece of Warhammer. People always think of like ground combat, but like they have massive space battles too. I mean, obviously they it's these massive
Millions
empires.
of troops lost, flawless success.
Flawless success. The memes. And so so far I really like it. Would recommend it if you like. You don't have to even like Warhammer, but if you like the Sins of a Solar Empire style of game,
Then you'd like that.
yeah.
The only thing that like I feel like would kind of be a turnoff is it's like, and it's kind of like a different niche, is that it's like Warhammer's so fucking brutal and violent
It's
that
so
it's like
brutal.
that it's like I feel like a game like that people would probably play it and be like, where's the brutality? Like, I know it's more like management, but like, is there any like some sort of like not first person but like more close quarter shit, or is it like still just like the big scale wars and management?
Big scale
Okay.
battleships.
Because what was that game you were telling me about where it was like you could do big battles and then you could like land in a ship and like travel on foot? I was like wondering. I was wondering.
Executive Assault.
Yeah, I was wondering if it's like, did they have something like that?
That would be an awesome use of the Warhammer universe.
Everyone would just land in a ship and just mosh.
Yeah, just Space Marine.
The Astartes, or what is that super tall one called? The Emperor of Man or something, or what is
The
it?
Primarchs. So there's the Emperor who's like 20 feet tall.
Yeah.
And then he created the 20 Primarchs originally, which are like head of like the chapters of Space Marines, and they're all like 16 feet tall.
What a weird fucking universe.
Dude, it's so badass.
I mean, it sounds cool as fuck, but like, Christ alive, what a weird universe.
In like, I don't want to tangent too hard here, but like I was looking into
You need to play
Dreadnoughts.
Deathwing.
I did play Deathwing this morning. It was awesome too. Also super badass.
Just so slow. Just
Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, those are Space Hulks.
Jesus.
So they're like like a special version of Space Marines.
Dreadnought though. I remember this was something you wanted. Nice.
So, are you aware of what a dreadnought is?
I know of a game called Dreadnought where your ships like.
But like in the Warhammer 40K
No.
universe.
No.
So dreadnoughts are when like in Astartes dies, like in battle, if they can't be healed and they're like very important, like, you know, high ranking sergeant or something, if they can't be healed, but like their brain can be saved.
Jesus.
The tech marines will build these dreadnoughts. You know what they look like? Like on your iPad, go ahead and Google a dreadnought, because I want you to try to describe it, like what a dreadnought looks like to the audience. Because otherwise, I'm too familiar with the topic. And so they create this sarcophagus essentially, where they attach the body, whatever's remaining of this space marine, and like weld him in, like attach whatever nerves are left into this like hulk of a machine.
Yeah, what the fuck?
That has like 2 hands, 2 legs, and then like the space marine and this machine cease to be separate. Like they become one, to where like they're essentially they're on life support within this machine for like as long as the machine stays alive. See, I try to describe that. It's like a mobile tank.
Do you like what it says?
Yeah. So Kevin showed me a picture, just a dreadnought standing there that just says "fuck off."
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. To describe him, it looks like, if you know what like the Hulkbuster from like the Marvel movies looks like.
Perfect.
Imagine that, but like bloated as fuck. Like the bloat lord grizzly of Hulkbusters.
And so the reason I caught on to these was
so there's not even a person there. It's just a brain.
I'm about to show you a picture.
Oh,
so it's whatever's left of them. And so it's like if they can't be healed. And so like I was curious the other day, and I was like, so what does the space marine, whatever's left of him, look like with inside a dreadnought? And so I'm going to show Kevin this picture and let him describe it. He has not seen this. So describe how brutal that is.
I mean, it just looks like...
It looks like Darth Vader without limbs.
Yeah, it looks like Darth Vader without limbs and like maybe burned more and like beaten to a pulp. Yeah. Like it doesn't even look like a form. It's just like mush.
Yeah, just like coming out of like the body attached to this machine.
God damn. That's actually pretty intense though. And that's a pilot of one of these big fucking mechs.
And so like their brain is still active, and like it just, the more and more I get into like the 40K universe, like it just gets more and more brutal.
So like, are they in a game or something that you've been playing?
Yeah, they're like one of the primary Space Marine units.
Oh shit.
Like that's what they are. The dreadnoughts. They're like primary infantry support. And so like they get dropped in. Like it's one of that GIF I sent you yesterday.
Oh yeah.
That's a dreadnought.
Oh, Jesus, fuck.
And so like all they do is they're already dead essentially, but they're still alive. So that's what they say, like, and that's like their traditional phrase when they get airdropped onto the battlefield is like I return, brothers.
Jesus.
Like in death I still serve. So brutal.
Like yeah, could you just imagine being like in the middle of a battle and just some giant mech of like your previous sergeant just drops in?
Well, and so that gets even more brutal is that usually these things are like 1,000 years old, to where they don't know anybody around them and nobody knows who they are, and like whatever's left of the Marine inside is like demented.
Jesus.
And so like they only know like hatred and pain and like violence. So that's why they get dropped in.
Christ.
And so what I'm going to conclude, because I could talk about this the whole time. So there's this awesome thing, because I was curious, I want to know more about it. So there's this free thing if you go on Vimeo.
Yeah, Vimeo.
Vimeo, and you search The Glorious Tomb. It's a Warhammer 40K full like audiobook. It's only 30 minutes.
Oh, nice.
And it's from the perspective of a Marine who gets like blown up, and he's getting encased in one of these.
Jesus.
And just like the confusion he has, and like the blend between him, and he sees the machine as like separate from him, but everybody else sees them as one, and how he's lost his own name. He can't remember anything.
Jesus.
Because he just like went through this trauma of dying and stuff. So it's only 30 minutes, but it's like super well narrated. They have like battle sounds in the background when he gets dropped in. The Dreadnought's voice. You can like hear him stomping around. It's so badass. It's only 30 minutes. Check it out. Hear me getting hype.
Free?
It's awesome. It's free. Yeah.
Oh, dude, fuck yeah.
It's only 30 minutes.
I'm gonna have to look into that, because
It's
that
so
sounds
cool.
badass.
It's so cool.
That's the thing. It's like kind of going way off topic, but like an audiobook, like with a little bit of extra where there's like music or sound.
It's music, battle sounds.
Because there's
like
someone who did that.
Other voices.
There's someone who did that with the Lord of the Rings, where they played like the Lord of the Rings soundtrack and like battle sounds if they were reading like the Pelennor Fields. And I'm like, this elevates an audiobook to like an unprecedented level of badass.
Yeah, definitely check it out. Only 30 minutes, and it's called The Glorious Tomb.
Dude, fuck yeah. All right, well, speaking of like all this...
Got me hyped.
Speaking of all this brutal shit, I'm about to kick the rug out from under you. Speaking of all this really brutal shit, I mean, Doom's pretty brutal. Whole Mick Gordon and Doom thing that's been going on. But that's so Doom Eternal has DLC coming out, and sadly Mick Gordon will not be working on it. So like I don't think he's gonna be doing the music for it. So that's...
I know we covered that a little bit where they had like some beef where they like toned down or modified some of his music.
Yeah, like if you look at like the waveform of his music, like of Doom 2016, like if you just look at like the PC of like the peaks and all that stuff, it's all over the place. Versus if you look at Doom Eternal, it's kind of flat and just like the same scale through the whole way. And you can kind of hear it too. I mean, Doom 2016, when you play that, it's like, it's extremely dynamic. Like as you get closer, the music gets louder.
That's badass.
So it's like, yeah, like you hear like the rip, like when you walk into like where like enemies are about to spawn, you hear like, and then like once you see like those little portals start popping, like just way too hard.
And then yeah, you just get hype.
And then every fucking kill, like glory kill, it like cuts out the music, and then it just comes back even louder. So it's like you kill him, music's like, and it's like, dude, that game was a fucking masterpiece in every way whatsoever.
What's the DLC?
They're having some campaign DLC come out for that game.
Fuck, I just uninstalled it.
Nice.
I'll have to reinstall it. I was trying to make space because I also reinstalled GTA 5.
Jesus fuck. Big ass game.
It's not as big as we thought. It's only 90 gigs with all patches on PS4.
So it's going to be
versus Battlefront 2, I did look, is 113 gigs.
Dude, Modern Warfare is still sitting at like 200 plus.
Jesus.
Well, so actually, okay, I didn't even have this on my agenda, but I wanted to talk about it because it's just great. So in the GTA Online community, which is just a cesspool of people being assholes, there's like these suits you can buy. They're like these morph suits, and there's green aliens and there's purple aliens, and they're just like a solid color morph suit. Well, it's kind of turned into the thing where it's like, first it was the green aliens, and like if you saw a green alien, it's like, yeah, he's gonna come beat the fuck out of me with a baseball bat or something. Like they would just kind of gank people and just beat the fuck out of them hand to hand. And then Purple Gang came in, started doing the same thing. And there's been a huge war between like people dressed as the green aliens and people dressed as the purple aliens. Well, the suits cost in game. Each suit costs $350,000 to buy in game. Rockstar this previous week made them free for everyone. GTA Online has turned into a fucking war zone now because everyone's just in a green or a purple alien suit killing everyone else. Like I joined a lobby like right when the update, like the day after it went live, because they get updated on Wednesdays. So I joined on Thursday, and like I'm in my green alien suit. I like beat the fuck out of someone, and he's like, I wish the suits weren't 350,000 so I could buy one. I was like, they just went free like last night. And like a bunch of people typed chat. They're like, what? And they're like, no way. And I'm like, I swear to God, that's the discounted thing for this week. So like everyone goes into clothes stores and you see all these green and purple aliens
just coming out. And
about like 10 minutes later, there's like 2 tanks on the street and a presser, which is like this flying motorcycle that has missiles. Someone's flying an Osprey into the city.
The fuck?
I'm like, what the fuck is going on? There's
nobody's doing any heists.
No, yeah, the game's like when you die, the game's taking forever to load because like everyone's 5 stars. So there's like cops all over the entire map, and it's like, what the fuck is happening in this game? And even Rockstar on their Twitter was like, join the war. So it's like they know that people are just using these suits to just be assholes. So it's been pretty fun if you get online. Like
I wonder if it's the same on PlayStation. I'll have to check.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, because it's like through Rockstar. It's not like
it's not PC only.
I'm telling you, if you get on GTA Online, I guarantee you're gonna spawn in. You're gonna see a car pull up with a glowing green or purple dude, and they're just gonna fucking shoot you and leave.
I'm gonna be pissed.
The thing I was doing too is you could save outfits, so I was just like walking around in like my normal just like shirt and pants, and made some friends. Like I was like, hey, don't kill me to like these green people, and like so I changed my green suit, and then like we were hanging out, and then I swapped it to my purple one, and like just I planted some sticky bombs and like swapped to my purple suit, and like I saw them like all like pull out their guns, and I just blew them all up.
You like that?
I did. They were like, what the fuck? So I'm like, the fact that they made both of them free, it's like, dude, you can play Turncoat all you want.
It's Benedict Arnold.
Dude, Benedict Arnold is so mild in what GTA Online is. The whole game's a cesspool of ass. It's so like, even like when I kill people, they're like, I'm reporting you, and it's like, dude, it's
I don't give a
GTA.
shit, yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of here. Go play private or passive mode if you don't want this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to balance this out with some business talk now, boy?
We can, sure. So, and you have to be gentle with me here. I have a lot of notes, and they're all kind of jumbled around. So I'm just going to start with...
That's some poor podcast planning. He's staring at me maliciously. You like that? Fuck.
Nice. So, in the past week, EA Games, Activision Blizzard, and Nintendo all had their earnings.
I'm assuming all their earnings have to be pretty decent, but we'll see.
So we're going to start with high level. The industry is doing very well.
Big fucking surprise.
Yeah, big fucking surprise. Everybody's happy. Everybody's buying games. So let's start with EA.
Those Trump bucks coming in clutch.
Nice. So EA, the stock, when they had their earnings last Wednesday, which was, I guess this Wednesday, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wednesday, sorry, I'm pulling up my calendar here. They had their earnings on the 6th.
6th, yeah.
Wednesday, May 6th. They're, at the end of trading, their stock had lost 3.59%, but they did very well for the quarter. And so they had sales.
I think you've explained this to me. Why does a stock drop when their earnings
You'll
are good?
see.
Okay.
You'll see, yeah. So for quarter one of 2020, they did well. They had sales of nearly 1.4 billion
Jesus.
compared to what analysts were expecting of about 1.2 billion.
Okay.
So they did well there. And nearly 8% of EA's revenue came from digital sales. So Apex Legends, for example. Let's see.
In any digital game at all.
Correct. And so EA's done well and been able to grow a little bit during the pandemic. But essentially...
Which is a real thing.
Yeah, essentially the main concern... It was the same when we talked about this for Q4 of 2019. People are concerned about EA's ability to grow going forward. By that, what a lot of the analysts were saying was that I saw that... for example...
Well, they said that in Q4, and then in Q1 they grew, so it's like...
Yeah, but EA's ability to grow with stuff that's not based around sports games. Like, that's considered to be, like, one of their main sources of revenue. So here's a quote from... I want to make sure I get it from Barron's on the topic. Quote, unquote, "We expect margin expansion to continue... during this digital shift. However, recent execution issues on non-sports titles make us question its longer-term competitiveness." Which I thought, that makes sense. Other than, we talked about last time, Jedi Fallen Order, what else is EA really pumping out?
That's a good point, honestly. I can't really think of anything off the
So
top of my head.
that's why the stock, even though their revenue was up 12%, they didn't really have any major games driving. They don't really have anything major in the pipeline right now that we're aware of.
That's true.
And so that's why the stock went down a little bit, even though they did well. So moving on to Activision Blizzard. They crushed it, man. Their stock was up 23.1% in the last month.
Jesus.
That's huge. That's like unheard of. That means if you had invested $100,000 a month ago, you would have $125,000.
That's pretty intense.
That's crazy. Of course, they did
I know
really well.
Call of Duty's been fucking killing it.
Yes. So here is from Yahoo Finance says, quote unquote, Activision Blizzard reported non-GAAP adjusted, don't worry about that, that's just an accounting metric, revenue of $1.52 billion, which came in above analysts' estimate of $1.3 billion. The performance was primarily driven by higher in-game spending as the company's most popular franchises experienced heightened level of player activity during the quarter, likely relevant to the quarantine. Call of Duty Warzone has been downloaded more than 60 million times since its release on March 10th. Woo! Additionally, World of Warcraft, as we also probably talked about last quarter, still was a identifiable increase of monthly subscribers through first quarter 2020.
Jesus.
And in-game spending for all of Activision Blizzard during 2020 was up 20% over the exact same time last year.
Dude, goddamn. They're going to be running the fucking... They're going to be like the monopoly of video games. They're going to have so much money that they could just pretty much be like, fuck you, we're going to do this shit.
Yeah, I mean, Blizzard's doing just fine.
Jesus.
I mean, and just on a similar note, like, I think...
Blizzard could do so much better if they remastered Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer alongside the campaign, but that's just me getting upset.
I think they're probably saving that until they need it. You know what I mean? Like if they're ever hitting like a rough patch, they might be like, let's fucking do it.
That would bring them out of a rough patch real fucking quick.
Because I think right now they're just banking on, you know.
I mean, they already confirmed that the new Call of Duty is coming out this year, like in 2020. So it's like there's going to be another big fucking...
Yeah. And like the stock market loves that Call of Duty is so predictable. They love that.
Oh, yeah. It comes out every single year.
They know every year. They got a major AAA title coming out.
So they're just like, all right, sick.
Hell yeah. Versus EA, it's like, hey, I don't know.
Yeah, even with their sports games, I feel like they're not consistent. Like they all come out at the same time. Yeah.
And I forgot to mention this, going back to EA, one of the big things that analysts are worried about with those sports games is that what if the seasons get delayed?
Ooh.
That means the games are also going to have to be delayed to a degree. I mean, what are you going to do? Release games and the seasons haven't even happened yet? Or like, I mean, what if teams aren't even set yet? Trades are still happening. You know what I mean? It's just like, man,
maybe you could just
question.
update the old fucking games.
Another game. $60 more now.
I hate that shit.
Spend on me, boy.
That's why I hate sports games. That could be fixed with just the simplest of updates, but they're just like, no.
And then finally, Nintendo crushed it.
Yeah, I mean, with Animal Crossing and with the fact that Switches are, like, the consoles themselves are flying off the shelves.
That's the main driver. Yep.
Like, they've got to be just fucking...
Nintendo's earnings over Q1 were up 41%.
Holy fuck.
Over the same time last year.
Dude.
Woo! And, of course, the main drivers, as we already mentioned, were just Switches they can't keep them on the shelves right now.
They really can't. They're hard as fuck to find.
Which is probably a factor of Animal Crossing. And so what I saw around the Switches was that the Switch has already outsold consoles sold over Nintendo 64 and GameCube.
Yeah, I think it's going to be...
It's just boom.
I guarantee the Switch is probably going to be I would not be surprised if it is the number one, like, most sold console coming soon. Like,
that's one thing that I'm so fascinated by Nintendo is how have they so successfully decided to stay away from, for all practical purposes, Sony and Microsoft and do their own thing, but be so good at it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Like they don't get most. I mean, they don't get most of the AAA titles that come out.
Yeah, like Nintendo doesn't get Call of Duty. They don't get Battlefields.
But it's like Nintendo's following is just so intense. Like Animal Crossing, you wouldn't expect Animal Crossing to like.
There's so many people that like I'll even
that
be
could
like
win Game of the Year.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. There have been people who I've been like messaged, be like, hey, like want to play Halo or Call of Duty something, and they're like, I'm playing Animal Crossing. I'm like, I didn't even know you fucking had that.
And that's what like I'm so surprised by is. It seems like when you looked at Animal Crossing without any context, like you just looked at a screenshot, you'd be like, oh, this game's for kids. But then everybody,
Elijah Wood,
all genders, all age groups,
what's
all interests.
That politician, like Alexandra, like
AOC's playing it. Yeah, Danny Trejo's playing it.
Yeah, I saw Danny Trejo was playing it. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, it just I don't know. It's like Nintendo's found a way to make these titles that are like somehow you look at it and it's like this should be for a niche, but then it's the most approachable thing for anybody ever.
Yeah,
like it just blows my mind.
Yeah, the one thing that
not that it's bad. I mean like
the one thing that like
conceptually
like I'm like I said I have my ideals or like ideas with Nintendo or whatever, but like one of my things is it's like their games almost seem to have like so much free range that it's like you can kind of make it whatever you want. Like with Animal Crossing, you can build your own island, do it exactly how you want. Like Smash Bros, you've got 80-something fucking fighters, fight how you want. You could, with Mario Maker, you could build your own fucking Mario game. And then like my thing, and it's like I love watching clips or like people who play Breath of the Wild, and they'll do like all these really stupid, crazy things where like do all these abilities where they'll like freeze time and like hit a rock and then like chain the rock to something, and then like when the time runs out, it like flings it across map, and they like fast traveled across like all of like Gerudo or whatever. And it's like, and like even like the dungeons, I forget what they're called in that game, but it's like
the challenges of the, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, where it's like in the caves and stuff. They have a specific way they're meant to be beat, but it's not like that's the only way. It's not like there's invisible walls or something. So it's like if you can find a completely new way to beat it, Nintendo's not going to be like, no, you have to do it this way. They're like, if you can find it, fucking do it. And I'm like, they give their games so much free range that I feel like that's probably a big point, because it's like you can just do whatever you want. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of insane that they've been so different than Sony and Microsoft and PC.
It's so successful.
And then they're still pretty much just sitting at the top. Like, what the fuck are you going to do about it?
Yeah, it's crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, I see the Switch probably becoming like, because what was when we talked about last time, the PS2 was a top selling console, right?
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if the Switch passes
But
it
then,
up.
but what generation does the Switch fall into? Does it fall into the PS4 and Xbox One, or does it fall into the next generation? Because the Switch hasn't been out that long.
I'd say it'd have to fall into the PS4. Nintendo always comes out like halfway between generations.
I would still feel like that it's not going to outsell the PlayStation.
I don't know, man. If it's doing this good with
Let me see if I can find some data while we're talking.
I mean, like, especially with like how well it's doing now, like shit's still hard to find. They're still rolling in fucking sales. Like, it's gonna be a tough one to beat. So, are you looking it up?
Yeah, I'm seeing if I can find something here real quick.
Yeah,
I may have to. Let me come back to that later.
yeah, we can maybe tackle that next time.
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
earning. We'll tackle that
I'll make
next
a
time
note.
with the
I'll
next
make a
earning
note.
reports. So.
Before I forget, I have to talk about Vader Immortal
Okay, yeah.
coming to PSVR.
So what is Vader Immortal?
So Vader Immortal is a game that exists on currently PC VR. And what?
I didn't even know. I didn't know that there was a Star Wars game on PC VR.
Yeah, and so it's coming to PSVR this summer. And I can't wait, man. I'm so excited. So I've got from PlayStation Blog by Mark S. Miller, where they're just essentially, covering this game, and it just sounds awesome. It's going to be like a first person. It sounds like full movement adventure with Darth Vader.
That sounds sick.
Like a full game, not like like kind of a gallery or anything like that. It's going to be like a full game. I'm looking at screenshots. It looks so awesome. I just can't wait. And anytime, like I've played like Beat Saber, you can't resist sometimes at the end of a song holding it like it's a lightsaber and being like, God, this would be so badass as Star Wars.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've seen people do that. I mean, even those people who play like Beat Saber where they like build it into like a staff and everyone's just like Darth Maul. It's like, yeah, no fucking shit. Like, I'm pretty sure everyone who sees Beat Saber is just like Star Wars. I bet they have a Star Wars game on Beat Saber. Wouldn't surprise me if they did. Maybe on PC where you can like mod
PC,
your own
I'm sure
song.
they modded it. Yeah,
they probably did like the Duel of the Fates. That would be pretty intense.
But I mean, this Vader game looks extremely high quality. Like the graphics look top notch. I can't wait.
That sounds
this
badass.
summer. No release date right now. Just this summer. So next, I guess 3 months or so, I would say.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I have to make a guess. Probably like July.
Looks awesome. I can't wait,
dude. Another purchase. A lot of games being bought in this quarantine.
I still need to get Bannerlord.
Bannerlord. Do it. So this past week, the little third-party Inside Xbox event happened, and apparently there have been some mixed reviews on it. Like, did you watch any of it by any chance? Or
no, I've only heard about it.
I mean, it was kind of like what they said. Everyone was like, they were like, hey, we're having an Inside Xbox event. It's going to be streamed. It's going to be all third-party developers. So, like, I know a lot of people, like, when the Inside Xbox was first released, like, Halo Twitter lost their fucking mind because they were like, finally more Infinite news. And then
did you get more Infinite news?
Nope, because it's not. It was all third-party.
Third party. Got you.
So we get the Inside Xbox, the first-party one, the Xbox Studios one is in July, around the time when E3 would be. So I'm hoping we get Infinite news then, and if we don't, that game's officially, like, it's dug its grave at that point. Like, it probably will not be forgiven if they're like, hey, no news, we're working on it. I guarantee the Halo community is just going to be like, you can fuck off then. Because they've had so long and there's nothing. Like, that's not a good sign. A game that's releasing this holiday for the launch of the next gen, and we haven't seen gameplay or know anything about it, like, that's kind of not a good sign. Like,
we should be getting commercials already.
We're not getting shit.
You sound pissed.
Well, because it's just like Halo 5 blew dick, and 343 at least
the truth.
Yeah, there's no truth. But 343 has shown that they are like listening, and they're like bringing the game to PCs. They're like listening to the community and all that stuff. So it's like they obviously have to know that Halo 5 wasn't taken the way they wanted it to. So it's like they've been doing a lot to like be like, hey, we're for the fans, like we're making what you want. But then at the same time, like everyone's like, so we got any Infinite news? And they're just like, no. So it's like, man, I'm hoping that they didn't lose their self-awareness. And
I don't think I'm sure they will. Microsoft's going to make sure that they have something ready.
But I mean, they showed some other games. Like, I mean, it was just a handful of games, like a game called Bright Memory, looks like a hack and slash like shooter game, Dirt 5. So like what I like about the whole Xbox Series X is they have this thing called Smart Delivery, which is essentially you buy a game on the Xbox One, like so Halo. When you get your Xbox Series X, your Halo will work on the Xbox Series X. Like you don't have to buy it twice. Like kind of like when GTA, like when it was out on Xbox 360 and then you had to buy it on PS4 or Xbox One. Like on this, if you buy it on the Xbox, you have it on the Xbox Series X, or even vice versa. Like if you buy Halo on the Series X and you're like, oh, I want to go play it on Xbox One, you can. Like it's like you have it either way. Like you buy it once, you have it for both of the consoles, which I think is something that's very consumer friendly. I mean, assuming it works the way they did and they don't like pull out some shady shit. But I think that's going to be a big selling point for the, considering the Xbox is already really good with backwards compatibility. I'm just like, this is taking it a step further and being like, hey, like we want you to play the games you have on the systems that you have. So like, here you go. But one of the things too is, that really got me interested is there's a game. It was announced so long ago. It was this game called Scorn. There's not really much known about it. It's very H.R. Geiger inspired with the art style, but they announced
Scalebound?
that nice. I'm fucking still mad about that. They didn't see any Scalebound. Maybe we'll see that in the July one. Maybe they're like, hey, we brought it back, boys. But Scorn is like this H.R. Geiger like art style, just really grisly, fucking weird looking game. But like the art style alone, like since I saw it years ago, I'm like, I want this game. Like I'll show you a clip of it afterwards. But when they showed that for the Series X, I was like, oh shit, like this game's still in development. I thought it maybe just got like put on the back burner. We'd never see it again. But the fact that it's still actively being developed for next gen launch got me really fucking hyped. So, I mean, I'm down with that. Yeah.
So what about some of the negative stuff I saw was also kind of tied into the gameplay release of Valhalla.
Yeah, it wasn't really gameplay. It was
and so I saw people got
everyone
pissed.
was like, oh, we're going to see Assassin's Creed gameplay. And it's like, it was just a nice cinematic.
But that agitation carried into this Xbox thing where people were also expecting to see some kind of next gen gameplay and they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, there was.
And so I saw even like Xbox and whatever his name is, the leader of I'm drawing a blank on Assassin's Creed. They both came out and were like, we apologize if you felt misled, like over Twitter. They were like, just be patient with us. You know, we've got a long campaign. Like maybe we should have marketed it better. We didn't mean to mislead you. Blah, blah, blah.
I actually heard that they're making the campaign or they're making the game smaller because people complained that Origins was too big. And so they're like, all right, fuck, we'll shrink it down a little bit then. But I might get, like I said, I've never really played the Assassin's Creeds, but I might get this one because...
I mean, Valhalla's going to be badass.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Nordic Viking bullshit, so I'm like, this kind of has to be good. Based off of like what you were saying about how like old Assassin's Creed games were and how they were good, it's like, all right, well, this one should probably be good too.
Yeah, if it's got a little more serious tone, I think I'll be in.
That's the thing too, is it's like...
the older I get, the more like I appreciate a little more serious.
Yeah.
With the exception of Earth Defense Force.
Yeah, Jesus, fuck, the game's anything, but that's a good balance to serious. But that's the thing that like happens with like any game that does gameplay trailers is it's like they'll do gameplay trailers, but it's like no heads up display and it's like a pre-rendered scene, you know? So it's like, yeah, we're seeing gameplay, but like it's gameplay underneath all these parameters that isn't really the same thing. And I think that's kind of a cheap way for game developers to be like, check out this gameplay. And it's like, no, check out this pre-rendered shit that you remove the HUD on so it just looks like an artsy fucking cinematic that's gameplay. Like every game developer does it. And I'm like, dude, just show the game with all the bells and whistles going on. Like we want to see what it looks like when we play it, not what like your artistic representation looks like. I don't give a fuck. If there's a lot of shit happening on screen, like menus and maps and objectives, show me that shit. I don't care. So, I mean, that's something, yeah, like, I don't know. I'm hoping, though, that even like the one thing that kind of upset me, and granted, this game, like, it's already doing well enough, but I was kind of hoping that we might have seen some Cyberpunk, at least like maybe a little bit of trailer.
We got other news about Cyberpunk, though.
What news do we have about Cyberpunk?
So, Cyberpunk has announced...
Is it some good news or bad news?
It just is news.
Okay.
Cyberpunk has announced that in addition to being able to select your gender, you will be able to customize your genitals.
I'm so down. I don't know how that game's going to be streamed, because you know so many people when that game comes out and they stream
They're
it.
just going to make massive, like, dongs.
Like, I wonder, did they say anything like what they specifically meant by customization? Like, if, like, can I make my guy have, like, 10 nuts?
Well, so this is from IGN, from
Like
Joe.
six cybernetic nuts.
From Joe Screbbles.
We read a lot of his articles.
Yeah,
on
he's
this
got good
guy.
stuff. I like his writing. It's very simple, but it's to the point. Quote unquote, players can select a gender and customize their character. Customization can include depiction of breasts, buttocks, and genitalia, as well as various sizes and combinations of genitalia. And so, look, I'm not trying to get political here.
I'm not trying to get political. I'm gonna meme this hard.
But it's just like, look, I can understand, like, if you wanted to kind of customize, you know, the way your character looks based off of gender, I can understand that. But, like, customizing genitals, who gives a fuck? I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm not trying to be insensitive. But I'm just like, you're not going to see them during the game. Like, is it really going to impact you knowing that, oh, yeah, like, my character's got 6 nuts? Like, does that impact your gameplay?
My character's got a dick, and then he's got
like massive tits.
Two assholes underneath his balls.
Yeah, he's got, like, a massive dick. Like
and one big fat titty.
Yeah, like huge cheeks for clapping. Like,
and just like like some flat fucking. This cast got derailed so fast.
No, it's just like I don't
like what.
Like,
what's
doesn't
the
seem
end?
like something CG Projekt Red would do. Like, you don't do that in Witcher. You don't get to change Geralt. Like, oh, Geralt's now got like tiny pee-pee. Like, what?
Tiny pee-pee. Fuck. I mean,
I don't know. It just, this article caught my attention, and it was just kind of like, I know this is like critical to some people, but for a AAA title, it's just like, I would rather the devs be focused on bugs.
Yeah.
And cleaning it up.
Dude, you know there's going to be so many mods of people just like being like, here's a fatter dick, or like, you know, like that meme with like the huge black dude sitting on like the bed. You know, people are just going to make their characters look like that.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I wonder how that's going to work for Twitch, because you know everyone's going to stream Cyberpunk when it comes out. And like, are they just going to have to like switch their stream to a different scene while that's going on? Otherwise, because people are probably going to customize their nuts for a while, looking through all the options, being like,
big old bulbous sack.
Yeah, some fucking hangers with some cybernetic like spikes
Clackers.
sticking out. Yeah.
So here's one more.
Okay, but realistically, like when you get Cyberpunk, like
I'm not going to spend a second on that.
So what if you can make huge fucking saggers? Like, you're not going to be like, I want my character to have that. Or like a big ass dump truck.
Quote unquote, players can encounter events where they have the option to engage in sexual activities with other main characters or prostitutes. These brief sex scenes...
This game needs multiplayer, so everyone can just run around naked with their 20 nuts out.
From a first-person perspective, depict partially nude characters moaning suggestively while moving through various positions. Some scenes contain brief depictions of thrusting motions. Other scenes depict a character's head moving towards a partner's crotch. So if that's true, then yeah, I'm going to have massive clackers.
Just fucking like hanging off the side of the bed.
It's just, I don't know why they're doing this. Like, it's just like, what are you doing? Right?
I feel like CD Projekt Red, because they've done so good, they're like, because we can, and like you're not gonna not buy the game because of it.
Yeah, but it's just like,
it's a power move. That's a power move. Customize your veiny dick. This fucking podcast sucks.
You're hung up on this, man. You're the one who keeps going back to, I'm gonna make my cock so big, bro.
So like I said, I'm gonna give my character like one big ass titty and like 2 dicks and a pussy. Like that. I mean, I know. Did I like this?
Oh man,
This podcast was started off so good and then it derailed at this point. So, like I'd mentioned earlier, one of our listeners, my cousin, he asked us a question.
weak Jeep.
Yes, he also does drive a very weak Jeep. But his question was, what is your favorite cheat code in the game? So this is going old school. Like back when cheat codes were a thing. So like, I mean, it might have to take you a while for this one. I mean, some of the ones I liked, I liked the classic GoldenEye. For some reason, I really like the paintball mod because
Big head mode
too. But like the paintball mod one was fun because it's like you could constantly see like where all the battles happen because they would never get like rendered away. So it's like as you walk into rooms, is like where everyone meets. Like the walls are just fucking rainbowed the fuck out everywhere. I always thought that was kind of cool. That and I mean everyone knows the GTA ones like. All the weapons, the vehicles, all that shit. That one was fun.
I'm going with Age of Empires 2 Conqueror's Expansion. When you could, I forget the name of the code, but it was a code where you could like spawn this like little sports car that had like
Age of Empires.
Yeah, that had like machine guns on it, and it would just like drive around, like drive to enemies' bases when they still have like militia and villagers, and you just gun them down.
And would it just like wipe out their base?
Yeah, they have like clubs and stuff. You just gun them down.
That's actually badass.
So that's probably my favorite code.
I mean, I'm trying to think like of all the codes. I really liked it's a simpler code, kind of like the James Bond's one, but on Rainbow Six, I think it was Rainbow Six 3, one of the older Rainbow Six games, like super tactical, all that shit. But there's a cheat code where you could like have lasers, like the guns would shoot lasers instead of bullets, dude. Wait, could you have multiple ones?
Yeah, you could spawn as many as you wanted.
So you could just spawn.
I'm showing Kevin a picture on my laptop of the car from GTA.
So you could literally Age of Empires.
Age of Empires. I'm sorry, Age of Empires.
So you could spawn like a troop of those and just send them to a base and just let them mosh. Jesus, there's like 20 fucking cars and then just a bunch of people with trebuchets.
Yeah, they're just busted. So that was always fun when I was a kid.
Yeah, that seems like that. I mean, like I said, I like the laser ones from Rainbow Six, and then yeah, of course, all the GTA ones, or the Tony Hawk ones, like the Tony Hawk Pro Skater ones, like the low gravity, and like extra blood and stuff. Because as a kid, you're like, oh man, so edgy. But I mean, yeah, those are probably some of my favorite ones. He keeps showing me pictures of just all these blue cars just mowing down like towns. The fuck is that game?
Age of Empires 2.
That's the one that you wanted us to get, right, and play?
Yeah, I have the definitive edition.
Can you do that like online if we were to co-op or no?
If cheats are allowed, yeah. We can make a lobby against the AI and both have cheats.
Dude, that's actually kind of sick. Just build a shitload of cars. Did you have any ideas for like any of those fun little games we normally do? Like I didn't know if you had the chance to think of any.
No, I was locked in with the earnings reports and finding out.
Finding what? Nice.
I did find something I thought you might like.
Yeah.
So PS4, excuse me. PlayStation just put a patent in for and they released the testing videos.
Their robot buddy?
No, not that weird ass thing. A touch sensitive controller that follows your fingers.
Really?
And they have test videos of like a guy using...
Is it like a VR controller or?
It's for VR, PSVR, yeah.
I mean, honestly, that's the thing.
And like they were like testing it with the video where like they had like this guy trying to like build with blocks to show like he was using fingers.
Damn.
And his stuff. And he was like doing, like moving his stuff like, around, wiggling fingers. It's pretty cool looking actually.
I mean, I know that was like...
But I know that was your big selling point for PC VR.
Yeah, the Valve Index, it has like knuckle tracking or specific finger tracking. So I was like, the fact that PSVR is like, they're working on that too. That's pretty badass. Now, is that going to, do you know?
I mean, it's in testing right now. So
is it going to be for like this current PSVR? Or is it going to be like some next gen PSVR shit? Or?
Knowing Sony, they'll make it compatible with both.
But do you think they probably have a next gen PSVR like
a PSVR
in the pipeline? Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm assuming they're going to try to probably let PS5 kind of get situated.
Yeah,
for
obviously
a few
they're
years.
not going to come out the gate and be like,
because they've already announced PSVR is compatible.
Yeah, like they're not going to be like Xbox where they're like, hey, we have a Kinect. Look at all this Kinect shit you can do, and everyone's like, I don't give a shit. They're not going to come out the gate and be like, we got PSVR. Like people are just going to be like, all right, fuck off.
Yeah, people just want the PS5.
They just want, like.
I'd like to see what the PS5 could do with the PSVR 1.
Yeah, I mean,
to be honest.
I mean, yeah, if it's gonna be backwards compatible, they're gonna be able to do shit with it.
Yeah, so
it'd be cool if they do more like creative stuff. Like games are cool, but like kind of like that spaceship thing you were talking about, where it's like the virtual spaceship, like stuff like that seems like it'd be fun as fuck.
Yeah, that thing is really cool. So as a left-hander, though, I saw that this left-handed gaming mouse was getting attention, and like my entire life, I've always used my right hand as a mouse, and my left hand is WASD.
Yeah,
and like I the thought of using my left hand with a mouse makes me want to jump out a window. And I'm left-handed. I'm all for left-handed shit.
And using your right hand for WASD?
Yeah, or I mean, I'm assuming it would just be. I mean, I'm looking at Kevin's keyboard. It'd probably just be like some combination, like IJKL. That's probably what it would be, IJKL.
Yeah, probably. That's weird though.
Or it might just be the arrow keys. Yeah. So.
But like, what's the thing? Because I know there's like ambidextrous mice.
As a left-hander, I don't give a fuck.
I mean,
is my point.
I mean, I know left-handers who like they play with mouse and keyboard stuff, and they left-hand keyboard, right-hand mouse, or like even controllers, like they just play it regularly. I feel like that's kind of one of the things. The
only time I've noticed gaming-wise where being left-handed's been an issue is VR, where like sometimes developers have to patch in afterwards.
Oh,
like a left-handed hold, because like I hold my gun in VR differently than you do.
Yeah,
because like I hold my left hand primarily versus you probably use your right hand.
Oh, okay, so they probably just have to take into account like, oh fuck.
Yeah, they have to usually patch in like a left hand.
Okay, I mean that's probably an easy like patch where they just be like, oh fuck.
Yeah,
I didn't. Yeah,
like it was an issue for me like in Doom VFR, where it only had right-handed. So it felt kind of weird sometimes. So that's the only time gaming left-handed has been a detriment.
Did they patch in a left-handed thing? Oh, they didn't give a fuck.
They didn't give a fuck.
All right. So before we end off, then, what is your hot take of the week or your pissed off moment? I feel like it's got to be something Overwatch related because it always is.
I mean, I've got plenty of Overwatch moments. I mean, I got one last night. I was playing Overwatch before you and I played. And like I was hog and I was just doing awesome. Like I was actually playing really well. Like really well. And then like one of the supports was like this stupid fat fuck. Why don't you play something where you don't have to worry about missing your fucking hooks? Just like out of the blue. And I was in a party with multiple people and they were like they knew I was gonna go off. Like the guys I play with, they know generally like I'm pretty calm. But like if somebody attacks me like that and I know they're in the wrong, because like I'll voluntarily switch if I'll tell the team like, hey, I'm not getting any value out of hog, I'm switching.
Yeah,
but like when I've
played games where Spencer will be like, should I switch like to the team if he's not doing the best?
Yeah, like I'm all about that. But then like this guy came in so hot.
Who was he? What was he playing?
He was a support. He was like a Moira or something.
All right, well stay behind your tanks, dumbass.
Yeah, and then he would just like came so hot and like my teammates knew I was gonna just go off.
They were probably like typing in chat like, oh fuck.
And so immediately one of them was like, well, he's actually doing really well. So like, why don't you focus on you? I just went off and I was like, I'm the only fuck getting picks. Like, why don't you do your fucking job? Like I was doing awesome. I even got play of the game. Like I was awesome, man. It just pissed me off. It's like, you sick fuck.
Dude, that's pretty
getting
funny.
fucking pissed.
There was, probably mine was I was playing Halo the other day and I was playing like the 2v2 competitive playlist. And there's a guy, we won the game, and like I had the most kills. Like it was like, so 2v2 goes to 25. I think I had 14, my teammate had 11. But every single time I die, like he wasn't communicating for shit. He wasn't like calling out. I don't have a mic, so I don't call out on console, so sue me. But this guy wasn't calling out for all, but every time I would die, all I would hear in the mic is this. And I'm like, holy shit.
Dude, I would get pissed.
I was like, I wish I could plug in a mic and talk to this guy and just be like, shut the fuck up. I was like, I'm carrying your ass right now. Like, only reason he beat me by 3 is because like towards the end he had like a little killing spree where I was like putting shots at him and then he'd get the kill and I'm like, all right. But it's like every single death, it's like we're up by 3. I take on to 2v1, like kill the first guy, almost kill the second guy. Like, fuck off.
I see you getting pissed.
Because it was just like, how the fuck are you going to say that? You're not even helping. So it's like, I'm doing this by myself, carrying your dumb ass. And then another, like a day after that, I played a guy who like every time I would die, he was just like, and then like at the end of the game, like we lost by like 2 points. He was like, you fucking suck, dude. And I'm like,
why is gaming such a piece of shit?
I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
Right,
we both had 11 kills. Like, we lost 25 to 22. I'm like, dude, we lost by 3. It was a good game. You fucking suck, dude. Like, okay.
All I got to say is, man, I have to throw in a second moment where I did lose it in the Overwatch game.
Was it one of the ones where we played?
No. It was a point cap. It was Junkertown. We were defending second cap. So, they're in that like alley.
Okay, yeah.
Trying to come through the city.
Yeah, like past that gate.
Trying to get to those second blast doors.
I hate that. I hate that fucking map.
Like our whole team was grouped up. I was Reinhardt and
offense or defense?
Defense.
Okay.
And this one guy had been pretty vocal the whole game, kind of commanding people around, but wasn't even good.
Dude, everybody gets commented as a playmaker.
Yeah, nice.
I'm making the strats, boys.
Yeah, nice. I'm calling the shots, the chots. And so, like, we had just enough time for us to touch as a group, right?
Yeah.
And so it was a 6-on-6 team fight in, like, point blank.
Jesus.
And so, like, obviously I'm swinging like crazy.
I'm about to start swinging.
And so, like, my team starts losing because we're not getting picks. And so it got to the point within, like, 3 seconds, like, everybody on my team was dead.
Damn.
But we had killed 4 of them, and I had just killed 2 more. So they only had 2 squishies left on cart against a Reinhardt. So, like, that's decent odds. That's worth the fight. Like, I'm going to try to get those picks.
Yeah, I mean, it's Ryan, so.
I'm going to try to get those picks. And so, like, I had just killed 2, and there's only 2 left. And so, like, as I'm in this, like, fight, and it was, like, a good, like, 7 seconds of us fighting, this guy gets on the chat, "Why don't you just fucking die on point, idiot?" I'm getting mad right now, and like I just exploded in the thing, and I was like, "I'm sorry, I'm the only one getting fucking picks, and there's only 2 left."
Dude.
I'm getting mad. Like,
wait, what was he playing? Like, what was his?
He was
role?
a support.
Like, what would a support of all players be?
And
like,
if you look at the kill fucking fee, I'm getting picks, man.
Dude, could you just imagine like?
You're like my hands like tingling right now. I'm so fucking mad.
You're literally like the last stick before like the fucking it just breaks and everything comes crumbling down. Won't you just fucking die? Like,
yeah, just die on point, idiot. And it's like, whoa, dude. Like, and, in my head, it was like, no, this is a reasonable fight. 2 squishies versus a Reinhardt at point blank.
Yeah, I mean,
and it wasn't a Reaper or anything. It was like an Ashe. It was like an Ashe and like a Lucio.
Oh yeah,
that's a decent chance of winning.
Yeah,
it's worth taking a shot if it's going to stop a cap.
Yeah, and if anything, if you don't get the kills,
it doesn't matter. I get good spawn anyway. Yeah,
yeah.
Well, I was mad, and even my team like messaged me and was like, "Calm down."
Dude, I feel like we should just dedicate the like.
I wasn't even drinking. I was sober too.
We should just dedicate the pissed off moment to just Overwatch venting. Because even me getting back into playing Overwatch,
like right now, I'm pissed.
I played Overwatch with Spencer. We stayed up till 5 a.m. playing Overwatch last week.
We were so drunk.
Yeah, dude, I was unreasonably drunk. But like, and then like even like yesterday we were playing and it's like
till like 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah, so it's like I remember like last night I was playing and like I thought it was like a term like I didn't know. I've never heard it abbreviated, but some guy was saying something is like we got to get like LOS, and like he was like a bronze healer.
He had the lowest SR in the team by like 200 or 300 points, which is a lot.
Yeah, and he was a support. He was an Ana, and he was like, we need to get.
And Ana is a very high skill cap character. Yeah. Ana is, in my opinion, the hardest healer.
You think?
Oh yeah.
I feel like Zen would be. I feel like Zen you have to balance so much because you have to balance attack and defense. Like,
but Zen you're gonna have a main healer next to you. Ana is the main healer.
Yeah, that's true. Ana's a main, but like. He was
Ana's
like,
hard.
He's like, we need to get LOS, and I'm like, what is LOS? And like I didn't know if that was like some weird thing, and like he just like opened mics in like the most condescending tone, line of sight.
He's like line of sight. Like,
and I'm like, okay, you
stupid
bronze dumbass. And then like later on in the game, like
we just non-stopped.
I was playing May. We were on defense on Gibraltar, and like I was playing May.
I think I was Lucio. I don't remember.
Yeah, you were, and like I was doing decent. I mean, May's a great staller, and it's like
May is the best staller. May and
it's
Hammond.
like May is like I said, I'm not the best at the game, but it's like if it comes to flanking or stalling, I can do well in that. That's why I like Tracer, May, like Pharah. Like I like those characters that don't necessarily get mad picks, but they're disruptors. So it's like I'm doing decent as May, like kind of up ahead on the front lines because they're running away because they don't want to get fucking frozen. And like he, the same guy, the Ana's like, we got a fur on the back. She's like causing us problems. And I'm like, you can handle that. I'm like, Ana's a great counter to Farah because it's like 3 shots. Like she's done. So I just like open the mic and I was just like, that seems like something you could deal with. And he's like, it's not my job. And I'm like, I'm May. So it's like, I don't know what you want me to do. Our other healer's dead. So it's like, get the killer, shut the fuck up. Like, God damn.
Hey, you blocked my ult.
That was awesome. You should explain that.
I wasn't actually that pissed. I was just kind of funny. I promise we'll stop talking about Overwatch after this.
Your response was pretty funny, though.
So I was Zen.
Were you Zen or Lucio?
I was Zen.
Yeah, you were Zen. That's right.
I was doing pretty well. I was getting picks the whole game. And the other healer was Ana, different Ana. They're not LOS Ana. And Kevin was...
No, that was the same one.
Oh, fuck that guy then. Yeah.
That was the same game because we were on the opposite. We were on attack or defense. We were on the opposite side.
Yeah, and he had Ana's nano, and he was trying to nano, I guess, one of the tanks or DPS.
Yeah, I think he said Ryan.
Yeah, and then he just nanos me as Zen. And then he straight up was like, you got in the way. And then I was like, no, I didn't get in the fucking way. You missed your goddamn shot. Like, you're behind me, man. I don't know what the fuck you're doing.
I remember that. Like, I remember because I'm like just being.
I was right on it, man.
Yeah, I was just like off memeing, and I just hear like it was instantaneous. It's like, you got in my way. You missed your shot, and I'm like, oh fuck. I was like, it was such an immediate response. It's like I felt like when you got ulted, you were like, he's probably gonna say some shit.
I was ready, yeah.
Cause like, yeah, who the fuck ulted Zen?
Yeah, it's too. I mean, if you had like a,
I think he ulted me once as man. I'm like, fuck off. Like,
yeah,
what do you expect
it's
me
not a
to
good
do?
ult either.
I'm like, granted, if I can hit him with an ice pick, yeah, that's big damage, but I have to charge it up and then it's slow as tits, dude. Overwatch.
I'm pissed now. Maybe we'll play later tonight. We'll see.
So yeah, like I said, this has been episode 11. Has some good shit. We'll hear next week.
We're gonna try to get a guest on next time.
Yeah, we'll try and have a guest on and some more the follow up of like the businessy kind of stuff. I'm curious to hear Sony and was it Take-Two?
Sony and Take-Two.
And then yeah, like I said, this is Friday. This podcast probably isn't going to go out for a day or two. Like I said, follow us. Like we've been streaming on Twitch every now and again at twitch.tv/KillCam Podcast. We've been playing Earth Defense Force and Overwatch and Predator. Usually drinks are involved, so I mean it's always a fun time. Twitter at KillCamCast, KillCamCast at gmail.com for any feedback or whatever. I mean, anything you can think of, give us any sort of feedback or whatever. Do you have anything you want to add to that?
No, I'm just
big man.
I had a good time, man. It's fun. I like recording.
And if you ever have any ideas too, like kind of like how Scott submitted
send
an idea,
in questions or stuff you want us to talk about. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep talking about Warhammer. And we will until you tell me otherwise.
Well, definitely, we're not going to be like, hey, I got this really cool idea, like as something I got from an email. It's like if you said something, I'm like, hey, this person sent this in. I don't.
Yeah,
want
we'll shout you out.
I'm not going to be like, oh man, this is a cool idea. Look at this original idea I got. Yeah, I think this was a pretty good episode. Maybe like I said, next time, hopefully, maybe have a little guest. Maybe get some drinks. I think that'd be fun. Maybe talk about some more Overwatch.
Hell yeah.
Maybe they'll release some genital customization footage on Cyberpunk.
For Doomfist.
All right. God damn. Fuck.
All right, everyone. Yeah. Until next time, it's your host, Spencer.
Nice. I already know it's coming.
I'm waiting for you to sign off.
All right. Dude, I'll say my name and hit record immediately. Fine. Well, yeah, like I said, that was Spencer. This is Kevin.
And you big sandwich.
What an asshole. What an actual
It's your boy, Thick Bitch.
That's actually pretty. I like that more than Big Sandwich.
Big, thick bitch. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, see ya.